everybody, and welcome to this Awesomenauts video with yours truly, SlowWolf. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Yoolip replay, just so that way you guys can see one of the newer Overdrive Nauts other than Chucho. I was playing some games with Weasel last night, same as the last video, and we kind of found a moment where he was playing Scree and I was playing Yoolip, and for some weird reason, it worked. There were some games here where we played together. It ended up being 6 minutes in one case. This one we ended up losing, but we still put in a really good fight during 17 minutes of play. This one we put in 15 minutes, this one we put in 16 minutes. Like, these are standard length games, but it really felt like we were doing incredibly well the whole time. So we're going to watch this one. I have no idea what happens anymore. It was a really late game last night. And yeah, we're going to see some Yoolip play, at least on my part. We're going to watch me because, you know, I'm beautiful. And we'll put up the usual stats here and there. Make sure that we got the custom stats over here, not over there. So we're going to make sure that we've got the kills, deaths, and total solar over here. And then we're going to have the items on the other side, because that way you can see what's going on. And we like to see what's going on. In my case, I went for basic abilities, Piggy Bank into Walking Fridge. The Walking Fridge ability for Yoolip allows him to hit from very long distances. It's a scary upgrade to an ability which is arguably one of the strongest in the game. So let's talk about Yoolip's abilities, considering that he's brand new, and it might be worth reviewing them. First, he's got his Wrench Smack. The Wrench Smack does damage in a small area in front of him, so he can hit multiple targets with it. And if he's hitting his own droids as well, they manage to actually heal a little bit. So he can push incredibly hard by smacking both the enemy wave and his own wave at the same time. It's very, very strong ability, given enough time to be able to go off. Now at this point, I managed to put out a Gripping Gaze, which is his first primary ability, and the Lux manages to jump on top of that, get off a really good charge onto the Penny, knocking her very close and like almost into death. What the Gripping Gaze does is it shoots out a hand effectively from Yoolip's forehead, from his third eye, as you can see here, because he's a Sadak like Ayla. That will hit somebody and it will stun both Yoolip and the person to whom he is attached. In that case, we hit the Penny again. Penny's in a weird spot because he's up against the Yoolip and a Scree, more importantly, and Weasel will pick up the first blood there. So the Gripping Gaze, it wasn't so much what killed him there as Penny just being stuck in a bad spot and not getting out any sooner, not using Pounce to escape. So unfortunate for the Penny, but there you have it. And yeah, Gripping Gaze is fantastic. It stuns the target that you manage to hit, and it stuns yourself, but if you use it in the right spot or safely, you can do on-the-spot stuns for almost a second in length, and that's obscene, really. It's also a very fast-moving projectile, so if you know how to shoot it, it becomes a simplistic thing to aim. We managed to land it here, do the damage. Sawblade manages to pick up the kill from Weasel. So there we have the Leon going hard. I managed to stun him at a time when it was pretty critical for the Lux to not get killed. Like, he would have easily died, and we managed to do a good job of that. So, and then there's Genji. He's taking a lot of damage as well off of another stun that I managed to pull off. It's not hard to land these stuns once you know how to aim them. They, like I said, go very, very fast. Now, his other ability here is the Robo-Dinos. As you've seen, the Robo-Dinos are little robotic hologram dinosaurs that walk out right in a straight line in front of you. And you launch them over a period of a couple of seconds, so you can actually vary where they are based off of where you're jumping. So, in this case, whenever I'm using them, I'm trying to spread them out a little bit so that way they can hit multiple targets at once or hit multiple avenues of getting in. In this case, I'm going to use them a little bit here and then drop one inside of the base so that way they have to back off while we're also pushing the lane with the other two dinosaurs. I managed to get the Gripping Gaze, but there's no real follow-up there, so nothing's really going to happen. But that has a lot to do with the Walking Fridge upgrade. So now that we've got all that talked about, the Walking Fridge upgrade is stupendous. Increasing the range of a stun that is almost guaranteed to land when you need it to. Yeah, pretty obscene. We've now also picked up Lab Rats, so that's going to allow us to do amplified damage on our left click. So every time that we smack something with our left click, they're going to take more damage from all sources of damage, including my dinosaurs, my grip, Lux, Scree, our droids. Like, it can do a pretty serious number, and it's a very cheap upgrade, so I figured it's really good. I saw a couple of Yoolips use it, so good grip into a kill onto the Genji. It's like getting caught out with Cocoon, but even more disastrous, because while they're stunned, you can actually do something. The amplified damage doing a really big number there onto the Penny, which is totally fine, and our dinos managed to pick up another creep kill for us while we're up there, so hence the importance of spreading them out a little bit. I shot 2 to the left, 1 to the right, and guaranteed that we got a kill onto a droid, and we started pushing up the lane a little bit as well. This Leon's around. I think I bumped into him, so I'm playing a little safe. We're looking for an opportunity. I do not gripping gaze there because I didn't have the cooldown, but man, that would have been great. I was looking for it there. I really wanted it. We're going to toss out some dinosaurs there instead. Make sure that she can't pick up that health creep. Oh, here's the thing. We managed to get off a good grip. He's so low, but he's going to survive, no problem. We get cocooned. And that would lead the end of that. But that gripping gaze is absolutely Yoolip's strongest ability. So it's definitely worth looking into and learning how to aim it. That will define whether or not you're a good Yoolip. Like, you can dino all you like. You can dino into gripping gaze as well. But the more important thing there is that you land the gripping gaze during those clutch moments when a stun is absolutely necessary. And I'm not saying that I'm very good at it. I'm going to be the first person to admit I'm pretty trash. But it works out nicely. Okay, at this point, I knew Yoolip was around. I decided to go with my gut. My gut was wrong, as my gut so frequently is. The only time it's right is when it's talking about the food that it wants to eat. We're going to toss out some dinosaurs. It's going to do a decent amount of damage. We managed to get a gripping gaze onto the Genji, which is kind of lousy and useless. What do we do here? I think we run underneath the worm. And we die to the Leon here. Yeah, he manages to backstab us. So well played by the Leon. It's at this point that I'm beginning to remark that the Leon isn't doing a lot for his team, actually. He's just kind of jumping around, playing incredibly scared. Like, he's not doing very much. Even here, like, he could be pushing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he did. He could have been pushing there and helping the droid wave to move forward, but he isn't. He could have harassed Weasel there with a well-placed tongue. He could be going after this Lux. Instead, he's just sitting in the back, playing it more safe than he needs to, and then going in for a Lux attack when it's really not advisable. So it's a little strange. Okay, so now that we're back in the fight, do we buy anything? Yeah, we got the lifetime on the Robo Dinos. So this is a really important upgrade for a lot of what Yoolip does. Increasing the robots, like the Robo Dino's lifetime by 50% and up to 100%, so effectively doubling their length, means that your dinosaurs last for freaking ever. I want you guys to watch this. We just launched all 3 of them, right? Check this out. They last for so long. It's incredible. So it's a really good upgrade to pick up. If you're wondering what's a good place, where's a good place to start as far as Yoolip upgrades are concerned on his dino row, look no further than that particular upgrade. What's it called again? The anti-gravity ball. You get the anti-gravity ball, those dinosaurs will not quit. We managed to land a decent grip onto the Genji, who eats a saw blade. He does not end up dying here, though, so very, very close. Weasel, now in a bit of a rough spot. He might not survive this. We are going to try to grip him. It is going to succeed in terms of the grip, but it's not going to do much more. We're trying to do some more damage to this Leon. We cannot find the opportunity to do so without jumping into the rest of the team. And if there's one thing that Yoolip cannot do, it's solo a goddamn team. Let's talk about Yoolip's weaknesses. Yoolip is not a solo character. He does not do well on his own. What? That grip was completely useless, but man, if it wasn't funny. Anyway, Yoolip cannot solo an entire team. He can kind of shove them off a little bit so long as he stays safe with the dinos, but there's no way he can just like walk into a team and start slamming them apart. He needs a team around him to be able to do stuff. So don't go around thinking you can solo stuff, not until you have a couple of extra upgrades. And I don't think I've gotten to that point yet. A really good dino into grip right there is going to help Weasel net the kill. We did a lot of damage to make that one happen. In fact, if I'm looking at my damage tab here, our damage is not completely the worst, but it's certainly not very good, actually. Now looking at it, it's really awful. And we haven't done much healing either. Never mind. Forget what I was saying. I'm not even doing that much damage. All I'm good for is a stun. What is the point of my life? Okay, we're going to maybe land a grip onto this Penny one day, someday. Oh, no! We hit the Leon instead, who was invisible. What a weird day to be alive. I don't think that would have hit, though. Let's just double check. No, it would not have hit. We aimed way too low. So, you know, Yoolip problems. Like I said, I'm trash. I can't aim this worth crap all. But at least we try, right? We still have just the items that we started, that we've been talking about. Our enemies have gone for interesting builds that are a lot more normal. Snack Herring Badge, Get Out of the Hood, Moon Nectar, double damage on the tongue. I'm surprised I haven't seen Silence, though, as Silence is such a good upgrade on Leon. His tongue silence allows Leon to be a harasser. It allows Leon to initiate safely, so that way you don't get immediately like busted apart. We managed to get a good grip onto the Penny, who now takes a lot of damage off of the Lux. We go down here. We know that the Leon's around, so we don't want to push the button because we thought he might be on top. In fact, he was below, thinking the exact same thing we were. And yeah, we missed out on a little bit of solar there, but overall, at least we picked up half of it, so it could be worse. The Leon cleared up our creeps, which kind of sucks, but we're in a relatively okay position, so I'm not too worried about it. And what? That was a little strange. That was a bit of an issue with lag. Now that I'm in EU, anytime that I'm playing at night, I usually end up against people that are in North America. and it causes little lag issues like that. Oh my gosh. Whack! That saw blade recall was unbelievably lucky on our part. We'll head on back now at this point. And we're not doing too badly. We're sitting at 1-1. We got a decent amount of solar. Our damage dealt is pretty lousy, but, you know, we're doing stuff. And we're going to start changing that around a little bit. We've picked up only 1 rank and definitely not butter. Nope, 2 ranks and definitely not butter. That upgrade is, I think, one of the upgrades that you definitely need on the grip. You don't need walking fridge. It's nice to have. Definitely not butter you need. The reason for that is that it increases the damage on the gaze, and on top of that, it increases the duration of it. By a decent amount, actually, 0.4 seconds. And considering the game that we're playing here, 0.4 seconds is quite a lot. We managed to maybe land some damage on these guys here, but we're just going to back off, grab some creeps, because we're, you know, suckers for propriety and HP and money, I guess. We're not very good, is what I'm trying to say here. And we're not very aggressive, which is maybe a failing that I will continue to have as long as I play Awesomenauts. I don't know. I'm a very safe kind of player, so I should have hit the worm button while I had the chance. That would have been fun if I was paying attention, but I wasn't at this time in life. I was just trying to focus on landing those, and for once, it worked. We managed to get another kill onto the Weasel. We're now 6-4, looking really good. We've managed to toss out a couple dinosaurs all over the place. Oh, we know that there's a Leon about, but we haven't found him since. I tried to go for the prediction. It missed. That's okay. The Leon tries to tongue me, but it doesn't end up actually doing all that much. One thing that you can say about Yoolip is he's actually fairly tanky. Leon's got 1,500 HP. Penny, we don't know. Genji's got 1,500 HP. I've got 1,860. Weasel on screen only has 1,674. 1,860 on the Lux. The Yoolip and the Lux have the same amount of HP. So, yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's a little bit of a strange moment when you have to look at an old man and say he's got the same amount of armor plating as a gigantic robot Toddletron. It's ridiculous. But, yeah, Yoolip's a little bit of is a tankier dude, which is a little strange. Which I guess compensates for his complete lack of escape mechanisms, but at the same time, his complete lack of escape mechanisms kills him more often than you care to think. We managed to get off a decent gripping gaze, but it does absolutely no damage. So there's another failing with him. Yoolip's abilities are very much black and white. You've got one that does incredible utility, and you have one that does incredible damage. And it is until you upgrade them where those differences start to wane a little bit, where you start having a little bit more damage out of your gaze and a little bit more utility out of your dinos. And that does happen later on in the game, when you have your dinos that might or might not drop HP poops and a whole bunch of other stuff. We put out a health grip, or a gripping gaze. It does nothing. We're up here. We get attacked by this Leon. I want to do something, but it's not a smart move. And we have to back off. We could have maybe stayed a bit aggressive, but I decided going home was a good idea. At this point, we pick up the Whisk. Now, this is where our damage starts to go over the top a little bit. While the gaze is active, we get a little ring around us, and if anybody steps in the ring, they take a decent damage over time. So we are looking for an opportunity here to get nice and close with our grips at the same time. We missed the Genji because we're silly and could have shot it from a mile away, and instead just try to shoot it from a half meter. Let's not be fooled here. If we land a grip, at this point it can do a lot. And we predicted that the Leon would be below us there. Not the case. This is how it looks like when you're playing, I think. Yeah. That's a little bit closer to like viewer, spectator mode. We managed to get off a grip there. We get cocooned. We're backing off. We're taking it easy. We don't want to get too close to any of this right now. It's a little bit strange for Yoolip right now, but we're not doing badly. We've only died once, so we can't say that we're having a bad time. And we're up against a Leon that's not playing as aggressively as he could because he doesn't have the silence. So if you're a Leon player, keep that in mind. We bumped into him. We know we're sort of where he is. But we'll back off for now. Oh, we get a good gripping gaze. It's on the weirdest person imaginable, but we managed to get the kill, and now Penny's in a bad spot and gets picked off as well. So that was a really good gripping gaze. I don't know how that came about. We aimed for the Penny, missed, hit the invisible Leon yet again. What a time to be alive. We end up taking out this top turret at the 13-minute mark, and now we're seeming incredibly strong. At this stage, we should be trying to fix up our droids a little bit more. There we go. It only fixes them up for 12 of smack, but it's 12 of smack plus 100 and something on whatever we decide to hit, so it could be a lot worse. We're trying to tank for it a little bit so that way we don't end up having to deal all the damage ourselves. And yeah, that's not the end of this turret, but it's going to be dang close, I think, before we have to back off. We are quite low. We're sticking around so that we can land a gripping gaze on anybody who gets too close. We missed the gaze, and we get killed by the Penny, who managed to actually land pounces where I can't. Good job, Trench. You've managed to do your thing. Now, Weasel on the other hand, is gonna absolutely demolish this Genji. And is going to have to back off, though, because he's now getting chased by 2 people that can do a lot of damage. He'll be okay, I think, unless if the Leon lands a good tongue, which he does, coupled with a good pounce, means that is a very dead Scree. So, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time, no backup. And Scree also not exactly high on the escape mechanisms. He has very few. In fact, the only one he has is Totem. And I might have mentioned this in a previous video, but Weasel does not get Totem until much, much later. It's a strange Scree playstyle that somehow works most of the time. Very offensively built. So we now have Dino Poops, which is going to help the sustain in our lanes quite a lot, I think. Whenever your dinosaurs march about, they'll launch a little health pack every once in a while. It doesn't do too much healing, but it does just a little bit. We're going to split up our dino set with those HP packs all over the place. We managed to kill off Crossfin and the Penny. Like, we managed to kill off the Penny and the Genji at the same time. I'm a little confused as to how that happened, actually. Let's watch this. They die over here somewhere. Well then. We did nothing. Weasel did everything. Good job, Weasel. And it's easy to see why. He's got double Steel Drum on a Saw Blade, double Starstorm statue, and he can get super aggressive with the life steal and the size on the Saw Blade. So he tries his hardest to be as difficult to kill by using damage as a resource, so he can get aggressive and play like that and still get away with it. We managed to land at least 1 smack for the amplified damage, and then we wrench smack him to death, which doesn't end up doing too much for us, honestly. But I mean, like, was it necessary in order to get a kill there? I don't think so. We tried to grab the Penny there, but it did not work. We put out some dinos, they completely miss. Should have aimed 1 to the left, that's okay. We get cocooned. We're not looking the healthiest we've ever looked, but at this point we can stay back, take it easy. If they get too aggressive, we can put out a grip or a couple of dinos to go ahead and dissuade them. Like that Genji is taking a decent amount of damage based off of the dinos alone. So we're going to head on home. And what we're going to buy next? I don't know. We might decide to finish off our dinos here. But let's see. I mean, we still have to buy another anti-gravity ball upgrade and a couple of other things. And we're sitting here with 300 and something solar. So, you know, think fast, slow. Think fast, Wolf. There we go. So, we go for relativity slippers and anti-gravity ball. So, Yoolip is one of the few characters in the game that has different shoes than Space Air Max. What his shoes do, and they cost 160 solar instead of 135, is that every time that you come out of a snare or stun, here, let me just double check if it's any snare or stun. No, only from grip and gaze. It used to be in the beginning, from any snare or stun, you got a movement speed boost after being released from it. Now it's only after grip and gaze. So it increases your base movement speed, which is nice for an old man like him. But on top of that, if you manage to grip and gaze somebody and then you get out of it, you move 41% faster. Just for reference, that is twice as fast almost as Denny's boots Raylan. So Raylan when she's moving quickly. That's a pretty impressive speed boost, to say the least. Now, here's the situation where we want to land the Grip and Gaze. We managed to land it in a good spot. Weasel manages to capitalize on it with a good Saw Blade. We're going to go in and wrench smack as hard as we can against Crossfin, who just barely manages to get away by the skin of his teeth, and we're going to be able to whack apart this core very easily with the space that we've been afforded thanks to some missed positioning on the red team. And that will win us that game. So, yeah, Yoolip, he's fun, but he's one of those characters that desperately needs good aim to make good use of his grip and gaze. Let's be honest. Dino robots, you could be 3 years old and learn how to use them properly. You hit the button and dinos walk out. You go, yay, dinosaurs! But grip and gaze, that's what's gonna split the good Yoolips from the bad Yoolips, I feel. And being able to use dinos into grip and gaze whenever that opportunity presents itself, that's gonna be the big key. So if you're practicing Yoolip, practice your aim. Learn to snap this on anytime you need it, and you're going to do absolutely fine. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I know I sure did. If you liked the video, make sure to let me know, and maybe subscribe if you want to see some more of these videos. But for now, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.